Hello, today we've got the Canyon Aeroad with 38mm prime BlackEdition lightweight wheel set. So I'll just go through some specs on it first. It's got 19.3mm internal and 27.5mm external, 38mm depth, T700 UD carbon fibre, so that's quite nice stuff, not top of the range but still good enough for my needs. It weighs in at 1,365 grams, including rim tape for the pair. We've got DT Swiss Aerolite spokes, and you've got some reinforced ones on the drive side of the rear wheel, so they're a little bit thicker. Aero spokes, of course. And they are mounted with 25mm GP5000s, which measure up almost perfectly, just slightly over 25mm on these 19.3mm internal rims. So aero wise, very nice. With the 27.5 external, it means the 25mm tyres mate up very nicely with the rim. Don't know if you can see on the camera because it's black on black, but the rim is just slightly wider than the tyre, which is exactly what you want if you're concerned about aeroness at all. So you probably don't want to put 28mm tyres on this because it'll measure up probably, well, either at 28 or slightly over. And with a 27.5 external, you're just not going to recapture any of that airflow. So if you're just concerned about comfort, then whack on some 28s, but realistically you want to be running 25s on this wheel set. Especially if you go on carbon, you're after your marginal gains. So I bought these because on my Aeroad there was 62mm DT Swiss rims, which I have to say handled very, very well in crosswinds. However, if anything was over about 22, 23 miles an hour, it started to get a bit sketchy. So I bought these. Also, they knock off a nice couple of 100 grams off the bike, which obviously is the most important thing. Got very subtle decals, so I mean it's BlackEdition for a reason, because all the prime stuff is in black. Ignore how dirty this bike is. It's been out a couple of times. I wanted to ride the wheels before I did anything review wise. They came nice and true out the box. I checked the spoke tension. All spoke tension is perfect. I think they're within 10% of each other, which is very good, really. More than enough. Crosswind stability, I've been out on some days with 25 plus mile an hour with 60 mile an hour gusts. No problem really with the aero frame as well. Well, I mean, I'd rather have a round tube frame and not that sort of thing, but I don't, so they work quite nicely. I've switched out the quick release skewers to my DT Swiss ones, just because I prefer them. I think they're a bit more secure than the ones that came with the prime ones. Not that there's anything wrong with the prime ones, but if you've got some nice skewers that you've got lying around, I would recommend switching them over, just because the prime ones weren't really that good in my opinion. I mean, I'm sure they'd be fine. I made a mistake with valve length, so you only need 50mm valve. This is a 50mm valve on here. On the rear wheel, which I did first, I put on a 60, and I didn't really want to take it out because it's an extra light tube. It's just a bit too long for my liking in comparison to the 50. So if you're wondering what size valve to go 50, unless for some reason you like the extra bit. So far, very impressed. I mean, their wheels, if anyone ever says a wheel rolls well, you know, I would discredit that. But they do feel nice. Again, that's personal opinion. You know, I can't really notice much difference. I would say they're a little less stiff than my 60mm ones, which makes sense because you've got 2.4 centimeters more carbon on my other wheels. But that's not a problem per se. That's just a fact of going with a shallower rim. They're probably, you know, made in China, sort of open mold rebranded ones. I was considering going with the Chinese rim, but I got these on sale because they are the 2020 model, and I'm pretty sure Wiggle Chain Reactions are bringing out a 2021 model. So I'm pretty sure they're still on sale. 100 and a bit pounds. I think it might be even £200 off retail price, which is nice really, because I've been looking at them for a while, and that sort of made me pull the trigger. Comes with tubeless tape, tubeless valve, brake pads. Still got my Swiss dot yellow Kings on there. No, Flash Pro, sorry, which I really like, so I've just left them on. I can't bother to change them because they work. The hubs are nice and small, so the bearings are big enough that you're not going to be sacrificing rolling resistance, but this is nice and narrow. Aero wise, you want this to be nice and narrow, especially on the front. On the back doesn't matter so much, but it's quite small on the back as well. It's quite a nice quiet free hub. I mean, it probably sounds quite loud, but in comparison to my DT Swiss one, it's when you're going along at speed, you can't really hear this. The riders next to you might be able to, but it's a bit more normal than a DT Swiss one, which is mega loud. Straight pull spokes, which I like. I mean, I just like the look of them, but I think they're meant to be a little bit better, but it doesn't really matter. Between straight pull and J-bend, you're going to get the same sort of thing. You've got cross lacing on the rear to transfer the torque, and then just straight on the front. I'd probably do with 1 or 2 less spokes on the front, because I'm fairly light. I'm pretty sure it's 22 or 20 on the front, but I could probably go down to 18, or I think it goes down to 16 sometimes. I'll probably get away with that. Yeah, all in all, very impressed. If you're thinking of just getting one set of carbon rims, I would go for these, because you can definitely feel, again subjective, you can definitely feel that these are quicker than my aluminium sort of 20mm ones, just in a straight line or descending, or you know, once you hit 25 mph plus, you know, on a flat. Yeah, if you're trying to get your bike weight down, then these are quite good. You've got a UK manufacturer backing you. You've got crash replacement policy, where you get, I think it's 40% off. If you crash, you can get new ones for 40% off, which is nice, you know. And like I say, you're dealing with UK people rather than Chinese. I mean, Chinese has got a lot better. Like I said, I considered buying one, but I went with these in the end because they were almost the same price after import tax. I'll just give you one last look of the wheel. So you've got dark prime there, and then it says BlackEdition round by the valve stem, and that's literally it. The rest of it's just black. Unfortunately, it makes my bike look a little less cool. You know, they don't have the cool factor of the deep sections, but 38 is plenty enough, really. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, press like and leave a little comment if you want to see a review of anything on the bike currently, and I'll see you in my next video.